You are currently using technology that originated inside a single, highly classified United States government laboratory. Your smartphone's GPS navigation, the Moderna COVID vaccine, the stealth aircraft flying invisibly over war zones. These breakthroughs come from the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA. Despite its massive footprint on modern civilization, the agency operates with a skeleton crew of just 220 employees. To maintain this output, the agency relies on a counterintuitive strategy. They intentionally fund projects with such high technical hurdles that 85 to 90% of them fail. 9 out of 10 ideas die in the lab. But when the agency accepts those odds, the surviving 10% produce the foundations of global infrastructure. That high failure rate is the specific trade-off required to secure a single breakthrough. This institutional tolerance for risk began on October 4, 1957. The Soviet Union launched Sputnik, a beeping metal sphere, and became the first nation to reach orbit. The public reaction was immediate. Americans viewed the Soviet space victory as a sudden, massive vulnerability, comparing the shock of the launch to the attack on Pearl Harbor. This trajectory maps a direct military threat. If a rocket can put a 184-pound sphere into orbit, it can deliver a thermonuclear warhead to an American city. From space, there was no existing defense. President Eisenhower moved quickly to ensure the United States would never again be caught off guard by an enemy's technology. 4 months later, he authorized the creation of ARPA. The agency was designed to bypass military bureaucracy. It held no permanent laboratories and no massive entrenched staff. Instead, it handed significant budgets and short 3 to 5 year contracts to elite scientists to force rapid innovation. ARPA was an exercise in national security, built specifically to manage the terror of the Cold War. It functioned as a shield against the threat of technological annihilation. By the early 1960s, the agency focused on a practical problem. If a Soviet nuclear strike destroyed a central command hub, the entire American communication network would collapse. This diagram illustrates the solution: ARPANET, a distributed network with no single point of failure. Destroy one node, data instantly reroutes. In 1969, scientists attempted the first transmission. They typed an L, then an O, and the entire system crashed. That crashed 2-letter message became the birth of the modern internet. Today, that same infrastructure handles exabytes of global data traffic every day. This military-first pipeline also created GPS. Following the Sputnik launch, the Navy and ARPA built the Transit System, a constellation of 5 satellites designed to give warships accurate navigational fixes from space. The digital infrastructure holding modern society together, from maps to web browsers, was engineered specifically to survive a nuclear apocalypse. The drive for technical superiority applied to the battlefield as well. By the 1970s, the agency focused on neutralizing advanced Soviet radar systems that could track conventional aircraft with ease. This shows the core physics of stealth technology. Instead of a smooth curve that bounces radar directly back, engineers used sharp, faceted angles. The geometry deflects the waves away, making a massive bomber register on enemy screens as the size of a bird. This research produced the F-117 Nighthawk, an aircraft capable of flying undetected through heavily defended enemy airspace. But the push for rapid results carries consequences. During the Vietnam War, the agency launched Project Agile, bringing aggressive experimentation directly into combat zones. Agile led to the deployment of Agent Orange. This herbicide poisoned millions of Vietnamese civilians and left thousands of American veterans with severe health issues. The instruction to prevent surprise removes the friction of ethical caution. The result is a documented record of both engineering triumphs and generational suffering. DARPA's newest frontier has moved from external machinery to the human organism. This research began with a restorative goal. During the Iraq War, the agency developed advanced prosthetics that could connect to the nervous system, allowing veterans to control limbs using the brain's signals. That neural research has scaled into the next-generation non-surgical neurotechnology program, or N3. The goal is to build interfaces that read from and write to the brain instantly, without requiring surgical implants. The tactical application of N3 is significant. The agency is funding research to allow pilots to process complex data and direct massive swarms of autonomous drones using only their thoughts. To maintain technological dominance, the agency is no longer just building tools for soldiers to use. It is altering the human being to become part of the weapon system. This timeline illustrates the drive for speed. While average human reaction time is about 250 milliseconds, DARPA's 2025 AI-driven systems can launch countermeasures in less than 1 millisecond. Meanwhile, the agency is developing reusable hypersonic bombers and preparing to test a nuclear-powered rocket engine in Earth orbit by 2027. Throughout these projects, the sequence remains unchanged. The military secures the technology first, and the civilian world inherits it second. The military network of 1969 became the consumer internet. Following that same pattern, the classified brain-computer interfaces in today's labs are the consumer devices of 2040. All of this future reality is currently being mapped by a group of 220 people sitting in an unremarkable office, pouring billions of dollars into ideas that usually fail. The everyday consumer technologies of tomorrow are simply the classified military survival tools of today.